doing a little something different. I competed in the technical division, so this is my costume. So obviously I compete in the costume division. And I designed this costume for Little Shop of Horrors. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's a musical where a plant eats humans, so eventually it takes over the world. So I designed this costume for Audrey, specifically for the finale, which is Don't Feed the Plant. And in this scene, all the people who are eaten by the plant come out. And when you're eaten by the plant, you actually turn into a part of the plant, so like an extension of it. So I pictured Audrey as like a bud of the plant. So going into actually making this dress, I first started with the circle skirt. So that's basically a really wide skirt, and then I placed over 120 silk leaves on it to give a really lush, billowy effect to make her look like a bud. And this actually leads to the stem of the dress. And to the top, this is the actual bud of it, and you see there's 2 layers of fabric giving more depth and layers to it. And if you guys have actually seen this musical, in this song, Don't Feed the Plant, it starts off pretty boring in the beginning and actually elevates to a whole new level once it hits the bridge. So I thought, well, if the song is elevating in the bridge, then so should the costumes. So logically, I was thinking, well, if Audrey's a bud, then she would obviously elevate to a flower. Oh. So in the actual process of creating this, I first started with my own patterns, because you can imagine going to Joann's and asking them for a pattern of sewing a dress like this, they would think I'm crazy. So I have made my own patterns, and this really gave me a really open space for my imagination, because there was no more limits. So after I made all my patterns, then I got my fabric. As you see, this is a chiffon fabric, and gives that really beautiful flow effect when she spins, so it drapes down. And then I didn't start sewing it, I then even dyed my own fabric, so that's how I got this kind of fading effect on it, if you guys can see it. Got it, yeah. And that really gave more depth and let me customize the color. So then I began to sew it. So sewing it after I got all my fabric and dyed it all, I first then created the skirt also, and it's over 120 petals that are hand-dyed and hand-cut, and the different sizes to give more depth and a better flow when she spins. And then next, I created this bodice torso. And you see it's a sweetheart cut with tapering straps. And the musical is actually placed in the 1920s, so I had to bring it back into that time era. So that's my way of kind of sending it kind of into the retro era. And we turn around for me. And I sewed a corset into it just for the great fit of it. And also the character of Audrey is kind of like a showgirl. She's kind of a diva. So I thought it's very extravagant to have one. No. And as you see, I have all these flowers placed around it just to give further emphasis that she's turning into a flower. I see with the headband and the flowers placed around it with emphasis. And I really like the detailing the flower added to it. And one of the things that I really liked about costumes is that there's symbolic meanings in it, such as that if you see she's really white here and then she's fading away, because this is alluding to her death, as this is supposed to be, she's a ghost, and she also dies in her nightgown, so it's a reincarnation of that. And I think that's really my favorite part of costumes, that yes, there's a literal meaning to it, that you see that she's transforming from a bud into a flower, but you can also see the symbolic meanings of it, such that she's dying and you can see her as a ghost. And I think through costumes you can really understand the story better and the characters better through just picking at the costume and looking at it. And that's really my favorite part of costumes and why I love it so much. Thank you.